Well, this one is going to hurt. There are a lot of things I really want to say about this, but I'll just say this one thing. This is all Val Nichushkin's fault. Plain and simple. There are a lot of factors that could come into play here. The lack of the lack of oomph, the lack of energy in games 3 and 4, especially 4. Not starting on time, only scoring first once, and that ironically was our last game. And of course, the refs pretty much being in Dallas's payroll. But really, the whole the blame for this is Val Nichushkin, because for the second straight year, when we needed him and his great production, and his production was great, he had to let us down by falling off the wagon and doing whatever the hell he wanted. I barely forgave his nonsense in Seattle, but this, he's got to go, and it's the consensus there. This team was good. This team's good enough to have this happen again. So was last year's team. We should have won at least one more cup in the last this either this year or next year, maybe both. We don't know, but if the Chushkin didn't have his head up a certain body part, we'd still be playing. Chances are we'd still be playing. Instead, we not only were ousted by the Dallas Stars because we just didn't have any get up and go for the most part, really after game 2. But the man who ended it in double overtime just had to be Matt Duchene. I mean, really, it's like a script. But yeah, so it sucks. My only hope here is this: Nathan McKinnon better get his first Hart Trophy. It shouldn't even have been his first. It should be his third or fourth. But he better get the Hart Trophy this year because he proved that he's the real MVP of this league. He really proved that. So if he gets that, then the sting of this, a lot of it will be gone. I'll be honest, but it's a bad way to go out. But I will say this: that double overtime was therapeutic because I used to say I love my policy was I love long overtimes, just don't let us put in them because I can't take it. I really enjoyed that double overtime. The only thing I didn't like was the result. So here's what I'm saying from now on. Bring on the long overtime. If we need to play it, bring it on. We'll handle it. Hell, we won our first Stanley Cup in triple overtime that game 4. So yeah, bring it on next year because we'll definitely be back. We will definitely be back. So the rest of the league better watch out for us. I asked this many times before, and I'll ask again. The Maple Leafs really lost to this team. I've tried to tell people the Bruins are not deep, they're not good, they're frauds. They keep proving me right, but nobody listens. The Bruins are not a good team. I don't know what possessed people to think this team can actually go somewhere. I mean, Bruins fans have delusions of grandeur. They're not as bad as Edmonton's delusions of grandeur, but they're delusions of grandeur nonetheless. This team is not going anywhere. As long as they have that group together, they're going to keep getting beaten rounds 1 or 2. They are not going to get even get to the Final Four. They haven't been to the conference final since that run in 2019 when they went to the final and fell one win short, losing to, of all teams, the Blues. So Florida is off to the conference final for the second straight year. Same goes with Dallas. The second straight year for them too. And my goodness, I'll just say this: the Rangers have a bye straight to the Cup final because there's no way in hell Florida's going to beat the Rangers out. They're not even winning a game against the Rangers. So it was an interesting the way it ended. I mean, a game-winning goal with barely over a minute and a half left. But hey, Boston, look on the bright side. look on the bright side. Um, the PWHL team in Boston, they're going to be playing in the finals. It's going to be Boston versus Minnesota because even in women's hockey, Canadian teams can't have nice things. I mean, Toronto, Montreal, they were the best two teams in that league, both of them out in the semifinals. I think that country is cursed. I really do. So that is my recap of tonight's action, and here's what's in store. Well, I should say last night because it's after midnight. It's after midnight here in the West Coast. So here's really what's in store for us later tonight. The only remaining series in round two continues tonight, or could conclude tonight, I should say. It's game six between the Canucks and the Oilers. And the Canucks are up 3-2, looking to finish it off. Edmonton's looking to force game seven, which would take place Monday in Vancouver. Whoever wins faces Dallas, and game one is in Dallas either way because Dallas took on the number one seed in the Western Conference. As for the Eastern Conference final, it will start Wednesday. They announced that on NHL's website. So the Eastern Conference final between the Rangers and Panthers will take place on will start on Wednesday at MSG. So that is my recap of tonight's action. If you like this video, click the like button. If you're on YouTube, click subscribe if you want more. If you're on TikTok, feel free to hit that follow button. My stories on the Bruins and the Avalanche will be featured. Check them out when you can. And about the Avs, one more thing. I actually forgot to mention this in my story about the Avs. So I mentioned it here. The heartbreaking thing about one of the big heartbreaking thing about this loss is Zach Parise's career is over because Parise came out of a brief retirement to sign with the Avs because this was kind of like his best chance to finally get that cup, and it's not going to happen. Of course, he had announced that he would retire after this season, however it ends. So, an amazing career, and he did have an amazing career. I remember him with the Wild and with the Devils, and he's an amazing player. He scored 2 goals during the run, so he really wanted it, but sadly, it's not meant to be. So he had an amazing career and happy retirement to the Zach Attack. So again, my stories will be featured. Check it out when you can, and I'll be back tomorrow to recap Game 6 in the Pacific. So well, actually, I should say later tonight. Sorry, I'm used to. I apologize. I'm used to having this done before midnight hits in the West Coast, but it technically is today. It technically is a new day, so the game plays later tonight, and I will recap it later tonight, maybe with the news that Vancouver's advanced. So stay tuned.